Alright guys, welcome to my channel where we're going to go through customizing my Volkswagen Jetta. Alright guys, this series is going to be on my 2000 Volkswagen Jetta 2.0 liter 5-speed manual. It's got 155,000 miles on it, and it was the best deal I could find in Minnesota. All the other Jettas that I looked at and all the other cars I was looking at are completely rusted out. Just too much body work to get into all that. And as you can tell, I'll show you in a minute that this car has like no rust on it, which is great for a build. So as you can see, there's like no rust on this car except for there's a spot right here, but these are going to get changed out to fiberglass ones. There's a little bit right there, but we'll touch that up. Other than that, looks clean all the way down. Just so you guys know, if you ever want to start a build and you buy a used car, you want to make sure that you change the oil right away. You look at how much coolant is in it, and you make sure that the transmission fluid is good. And also, I always, every time I buy a used car, I change out the spark plugs, because you don't know when it was done. You don't know how old any of that stuff is. Also, you want to ask if they redid the brakes, because when I got this thing, I don't know how long it was sitting before I bought it, and the brake pads have enough on them, but they're still squeaking, which I think they're glazed over, so you also want to change those as soon as you get a used car. Alright, so as you guys can see, I already got tail lights put on, and also got new headlights put on. And I'm going to go through it really quick here just to kind of give you a rundown of how I did all that. It's pretty simple. For the headlights, you have to take off your front bumper completely because there's two bolts underneath here and here. Other than that, they just plug right into your existing housing. And the rear ones are really simple, like too simple. So just on your trunk, sorry it's messy, but there's a little flap here, and behind here there's 4 bolts. If you can see it, look at this quick. There's one there, one down there, and then 2 on this side. It's easier if you take off this thing and that one back there on both sides. You can get to it pretty easy. You just unplug the housing, take them out, put these ones in, and you're done. Plugs right into your existing stuff, so it's not that difficult at all to put those in. And I think they look way better than the stock ones in my opinion. There's a bunch of different options. You don't have to necessarily go with the ones I got, but as you can see, I painted that with this rubber stuff I'm going to show you. Actually worked way better than any kind of plasti dip I've ever used. It's this stuff. It's a rubber coating. And the best part about it is if you don't like the color, you can peel it right off. As you can see right here, my son kind of was already messing with that. But that's okay. The whole car will be painted eventually. So today we are actually going to put on a MagnaFlow exhaust on this thing, which is right here. It's pretty nice. Comes in 3 separate pieces. You got that piece. You got the muffler piece, and you got the resonator piece. So there's the whole system that we're gonna put on today. Cat back. There should be some gaskets. Comes with new gaskets and bolts, which is nice. So shouldn't be any leaks in it with the new gasket, and if you put it on properly. So we'll get into that. First thing, we have to jack up the car. All right, the car is now all jacked up, as you can tell. Yeah. Turn the front, turn the back, obviously. Here's the points where I put them at. Across that bar right there, and then across there on both sides. So, yeah. Now we gotta crawl under there and take off the old exhaust. Anytime you're putting on any kind of aftermarket parts onto your car, you should always unplug your battery first. So we're gonna undo this bolt right there, and that one, oops, underneath there. So yeah, it's pretty simple. That's just so like when you turn the car back on with the aftermarket parts on there, the ECU can kind of recalibrate itself, sort of. But when you're doing any major installs, you should get it tuned to spec so that your car runs properly. But this car is going to have a lot more stuff put on it. As you can see, there's already this in there. It's going to be redone in here eventually. But for now, we're going to disconnect the battery. So when we put the new exhaust on, the car won't, you know, run like crap, basically. Alright, to take off the old exhaust, you're going to want to take this clamp off and undo any of the rubber bushings that connect your exhaust up there. Take off these bolts up here. They're 13 millimeter, and there's 4 of them. 1, 2, and then 3, 4. And you want to leave this loose so you get your whole system in place before you tighten it down. Now we're on to the connector pipe to go from there over into there. Alright, now we got angled piece on loosely, the gasket and the bolt, and then it comes around, moves up there. Now, next is that.
Then it's two exhausts.
But we have to cut a little loop in there so it doesn't burn the plastic. So you get a cut along there and along that edge, and then maybe make a little notch above it so it fits nice and flush. So we're gonna be using one of those. Should be super easy. We cut that. You want to make sure there's enough room so it doesn't get hot or start on fire. And everything's connected. Now we're gonna do a start up and see if there's any leaks. We connected the battery before we start it up and see if there's any exhaust leaks. Alright, exhaust is on. Ready to go. start here. That's it for today's video. There is a hood, fiberglass hood that's going on, and I got a whole entire body kit. Fenders, side skirts, rear bumper, front bumper, so we'll go through all that. I also have some wheel spacers. As you can tell, the wheels are kind of sucked in, so I'm gonna bump them out to flush. There is new rims. They're gonna be on it. Those are just the stock ones. And then short throw shifter should be here in a couple days, so we'll get that in. All right, and that's it for today's video. So hope you guys learned a few things, and if you have any questions, just comment down below. If you want to know where I got all the parts from for this car so far, just got it on various websites online. I would recommend that you stock check, call them, and make sure that they have it before you order it. And yeah, more to come on the Jetta.